Well, thank you very much. My name is Professor Goswele Obioma, the Registrar of National Examinations Council based in Minna. This morning, there's an examination called Cultural and Creative Arts. It has 3 papers. They've taken 2 of them. As from 2 p.m. to 3, students all over the country will take the last paper for today. What we've tried to do with my colleagues, this is Alhaji Foka, who is Director of General Services, and I have the Director of Finance and all others that went out with me on this monitoring exercise. What we've done this morning is to sample 2 schools. We sampled the government college, where we are now, it's Federal Government College, Minna. We went to a security school, that's a police school, and we also went to a private school to make it complete, that's El Amin. And so we went around to ensure that the specifications we had drawn up for them, especially for the examinations, in compliance with observing the minimum protocols of COVID-19, are complied with. That's what we've done this morning. And if you would like me to proceed to tell you my impressions, I would like to say that we have specified that students come with their face masks. They wash hands in the school with running water, because the school are expected to provide this for them. And of course, they carry their hand sanitizers. This also is applicable to the invigilators and supervisors. I will say that I'm impressed this morning from what I've seen in the schools I've gone to, including where I am now. As you recall, before we entered into the school, our temperatures were taken with infrared thermometers. We also were made to wash our hands in running water and sanitize them with hand sanitizers. So our interest was to make sure that the 2 meters apart from one candidate to the other is complied with, and that is what has happened here. That's also what happened in other schools too. Yeah, the good news is that the schools we went today were all COVID-19 compliant. But in training our monitors as supervisors, we told them there's what we call prognostic monitoring, as different from post-mortem monitoring. Post-mortem monitoring is when you come to an entity environment, you observe, you go away with your records, then you apply sanctions post-mortem. NECO is not adopting that. It's classical, it's obsolete. And so based on literature, we apply prognostic monitoring, where you meet certain infractions in the event they are there on ground, you correct them on the spot. If the students are not well seated, you draw the attention of the supervisor, they separate them. If there are no transit spaces for them, if in the event there are issues of presenting the COVID-19, you ask the principal to create a space. You recall that not all the students have come back, it's only the exit classes. So there are enough spaces, there are enough halls for all of these things to be done. So we do prognostic monitoring, we correct them on the spot. And if it is something beyond correction, we apply sanctions. You know that for the first time, NECO has designed what we call oath of allegiance forms for all of our exam officials, including myself, to sign off on. And those oath of allegiance forms is a kind of commitment in character and consciousness that if you don't comply with it, we apply sanctions. That's what we do. Nationwide, we have 138,150 by as of Friday. 138,550 as of Friday we close shop. We expect that 138,550 as of Friday we close shop. We close shop 3 days to the examination. We gave each of them opportunity to get registered. So as of Friday, that was what we have all over the country this morning. You know, the essence of this like a dry run. The basic exams are smaller in scope and capacity in terms of numbers. I'll give you an example. We expect that for the senior secondary school exam, we expect that up to 1.1 million, or about 1 million people will register. So this is like a dry run. And so whatever challenges we have identified today, we prognostically prepare solutions to them, resolve them. In fact, what I have planned to do with my management is that the exam will end on September 4th, and before the end of the week, we do what we call global virtual debriefing, where all of our examiners, all of our invigilators, all of our supervisors, all of our monitoring officers at various categories of their responsibility will join us in Zoom for virtual debriefing. We interact with them to know, hey, what are the issues we've seen in the field? What do we need to resolve going forward for the SSCE? So that's what we are going to do. We do that, and we get the press to know. We get to engage in that virtual briefing.
The training we have is that for the children, presently we don't allow them to be in crowd, and we take their temperature, they do their washing of hand, and use their hand sanitizer with their face masks all the time, and we don't allow them to be in clumsy area, being together all the time.
Almost all the guidelines, we have followed it. We have the buckets and washing hands. We do the spacing as required, and the sanitizer. The contamination was done for the whole school. So the thermometer also, we use it when you are coming in. We measure your temperature. If it's above, then from the gate you have to go back. Just because of rain now, that's why we brought it here to the hall. So far so good. I think the students are complying, and the staff members too, they are cooperating. So we don't have big challenges.